Okay, so I'm Professor Swati. I'm working in the Department of Computer Engineering, and I have around more than 20 years of experience, out of which 5 years are in the industry. And when there was the beginning of software development projects in India during year 2000, that time I was working on that Y2K projects and on some internet when internet got invented in 1995. So I have worked on the internet projects that time. So I've seen this corporate life from close, and then I have also experience of around 15 years in the teaching field in the engineering colleges. So and uh, we have joined. I think all of you are able to see on the screen on the right hand side there is one logo, that is IIC logo. So this we have joined and we have established this IIC center in our college in last year in 2019, and so I would like to spend some time to tell you about this IIC. IIC is the Institute Innovation Council for our college, and we are reporting to Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. So that is also that is called as MIC. Okay, so I'm going to use this term MIC and IIC. So that's why I just want to tell you about that. MIC is the Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, and IIC is the Institute Innovation Cell, which is reporting to MIC, and MIC gives guidelines to IIC, and we conduct multiple workshops and seminars within the institute with the help of multiple student councils within the institute. So it is the interface between the institute and Ministry of Education, where we are showcasing all the activities which are happening within the institute. And the focus and objective of IIC is to create the culture of innovation, startup and entrepreneurship awareness within the institute. See, this innovation is not only required for startup founders only. Innovation is required if, like, if you are thinking that you are going to work in a corporate or in a big company where you may have your dream to reach to the level of CEO or vice president or a senior manager or like that. In that case, also you need to take multiple strategic decisions, and if you have developed this innovation mindset, then only you can reach up to that particular level. Okay, so we are trying to create or improve the creativity and create the atmosphere within the institute about innovation and getting the experience about creating the products, and if possible then creating their own startup businesses. So for that IIC is working. I have worked for as a IIC president last year. This year I am working as a NISP coordinator. So here the NISP means that it is the National Innovation Startup Policy. So we have joined this campaign with Ministry of Education, and so I keep reading about the startups. So I'm there here to speak on the topic that startup legal and ethical steps. So actually we need a legal expert to know exactly the legal steps behind startup registrations and creating the startup, but I will try to justify the topic. Okay, when some group is really want to establish the startup, they will have to take the advice from legal expert at that moment. Okay, so but I'm as an NISP coordinator, I'm reading on startups and I'll try to justify the topic. So today's topic is about startup and what are the legal and ethical steps that the startup founder team will have to take up. Okay, so I hope you've got a proper background about this topic. So as a IIC event, we have organized this particular session to create the awareness about the startup. So here are the table of contents. I'm going to speak about startups, India's progress on startup. Then there is the Startup India scheme, and which provides multiple like provides the framework for startup teams to help them to grow. Then I'm going to speak about the National Innovation Competition NIC, that is organized by this Minister of Education Innovation Cell once in a year. That may also lead to a startup journey for a particular team. So I'm going to, and this is with respect to the higher education institutes like engineering colleges or management MBA colleges. So I'll be speaking on this competition, and this is also one way to have your own startup. Then I'll be speaking on startup ecosystem components that are going to help the team to grow with their startup. And then in 6th, 7th, 8th topics, I'm going to tell you why this legal knowledge and ethical knowledge or ethical steps are important for the survival of the startup. Okay, so why the team has to take seriously all these things about legal steps and ethical steps to while building the startup. And in legal aspects, in brief, I'll explain you about the steps of registration, different funding types, or what are the benefits that the teams get, and what kind of compliance they have to follow. And then we'll see some successful stories. Okay, so this is my table of contents. So we'll be knowing what is startup, and that's National Innovation Competition, Startup India, and then some legal and ethical aspects, importance uh, about the startups. So here, I think you are able to see the screen properly. The startup term is not very new. The origin started in 1984 when the government decided to bring computer systems in India. So computer systems they brought in India in 1984. Then in 1988, the revolution started, and in 1991, they introduced the scheme of liberalization of computer, and foreign direct investments are allowed. And because of that, it resulted in the revolution of doing the software projects and software exports. And we started seeing many companies in India who started their business in the computer development or software development. Then in 1997, the government announced that they are going to start the digitalization of all the departments or government departments and multiple places. The digitalization started in 1997. But after that, there was recession in 2008. That time, many IT companies fired their employees. Even the people who were are working in the foreign countries, there were problems of their visa renewals. So many people came back in India and they were in search of jobs. So government decided to help them and support them, and they made everything easy for these people to start their own business in the form of a startup. And the concept of startup started growing after 2008. So actual, we then 2008 onwards, we started looking at the companies, or we might have seen the companies like Policy Bazaar, Zomato, Flipkart. They came into limelight after that. But the real boost of the startups happened in 2015, where our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi he announced about the Startup India initiative in his speech on 15th August. And Startup India initiative got launched in 2016 onwards. So what is the Startup India initiative is that they published a policy to provide the legal framework for startups. So they came up with the document and all the rules and regulations, and they provided a legal framework for startups as a guideline, and they made everything easy for the teams to establish their own business. So startup became one important and one more segment in the nation's economy because of that. So the aim of this Startup India initiative is to build a robust startup ecosystem. Ecosystem is it's a group of people who in the network, like you establish a network of people, because having a startup is not a very easy job. It's not only creating a product, but you will have to establish multiple connections with multiple different types of people, like investors, then suppliers and customers, and so that all these peoples together is called as an ecosystem. So the aim is to build a robust startup ecosystem, and the aim is to transform India into a country of job creators instead of job seekers. So the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, they started looking after these matters, and they have even announced that they're going to release the fund of around 10,000 crore for this initiative by the end of 2015 25. Okay, so so this way, there were people now are encouraged to go for the startup as a career option. I think you are able to see the image to the left hand side here. Can anyone tell me what is this image? You can unmute yourself and type in the chat box. Uh, you can see here the image to the left hand side. What is this image? If anyone knows about this, then you just unmute and tell me what is this image to this left hand side. You can see here some image of a horse. This is called as, this is a symbol of unicorn. So unicorn is a term that is becoming very famous nowadays. Okay, so unicorn means the company that is having the valuation greater than $1 billion. Okay, so every year they announce the unicorns. Every year they announce the unicorns. Some survey is done, and they announce the unicorns. And in 2021, you can see this top 10 unicorns listed over here. So these are the companies their valuation is greater than $1 billion, and they are listed for the year 2021. So you can see the, whenever you are browsing the net, you would see the advertisements, or you may come across with such names like Cred is for credit cards, or ShareChat, or Grow, or a Gupshup, or Misho is also becoming famous nowadays. Okay, so here I'm talking about Gupshup, that is the 10th unicorn in the list. So it's the 10th startup in the Unicorn Club in 2021. It is the conversation exchange platform, and it is the startup that is emerged from an academic institution like IIT Mumbai, and it was supported by their academic incubator or incubation center. That incubation center is named as SINE. IIT Mumbai, SINE is the name of the incubation center. So this startup is established by a group of students who were studying in IIT Mumbai, and they came up with this particular idea, and their idea was nurtured in this incubation center, and this incubation center helped them to grow, and now it is a unicorn in this year. Okay, so it is not a new company. It started in 2004. It took so many years to become unicorn. But the speciality about this is that it is originated from an academic institution like higher education institutes such as engineering college students, and it has only raised the funds only once in this their journey, and that was around $250 million. Okay, but today it is more than 1 billion valuation is there for the company. So that is the specialty of this particular startup, and the important thing is that this particular startup has sustained and survived for so long. So nowadays the concentration is not only to have your own startup, but everyone is focusing about the sustainability and survival of the startup, because you are putting your efforts and money, and you are working, and so you want to be successful in this particular field. So to achieve this survival, or to survive in this particular competitive world, you have to take care about the ethical and legal aspects of doing the business. Okay, so that's why I have shared with you this example. And now you can see here, in this year 2018, these were the unicorns: Oyo, Udaan, Swiggy, Byju's, or Zomato. They were listed as unicorns in 2018, and India had 18 unicorns that year. Okay, this is some analysis done by NASSCOM on multiple factors like valuation of the company, and then the total number of users, incubators or accelerators. Like some points are there, on that basis they have done this analysis. And this year in 2021, there are 27 unicorns in India. Okay, so India remains, India continues to be the third largest largest startup ecosystem in the world today. Okay, so you can see here, but compared to US and China, we are having very less number of unicorns. They are having 2,203 here, 206, and India is having only 27, but it is third largest startup ecosystem in the world. And it is predicted today we are having 50,000 startups, out of which around 323 startups have got the income tax exemption also. The startups are given this opportunity to apply, and if it is sanctioned, they are also given the income tax exemption if they are solving a good problem. So we are expecting the annual growth rate as around 12 to 15%, and around 26.5 billions of dollars are of fund is raised by the startups in the year 2018. So it is predicted that by the year 2025, India may have will have 100 unicorns, and out of which around 60 to 65 unicorns will be even funded by the foreign funding organizations. And this central government have come up with this policy in the year 2016. Now all the states have their own startup policy. So what is the use of that is that you can tap to the state government also about your startup. You can apply. They open during the year. Once they open their applications, and during that time slot you have to apply. And if you are selected, you can ask for the funds. Every state government has their own startup policy that also will be helpful for the startups to grow. Okay, so startups are going to be there in the next decade, and we can say that we are in the golden era, because till 2025 the government has decided about major funds. Funds are allocated, and they will be made available to the people who are ready to work in this particular area. Okay, so what is a startup? Startup, actually, you can see here, this is the important thing about the startup. Startup is a group of people who come up with the idea, and they are trying to solve a critical pain point of existing framework. They're trying to solve a particular problem in a particular area. Okay, so it may be a small company, maybe less than 80 employees, or the revenues are less in the beginning, and less than more than one person. So minimum two people are needed to establish a startup. But the key behind the startup is the innovation. Okay, so the heart, and they have also one characteristic, that they have ability to scale quickly. So if you want to do the scaling, and if you want to accelerate or become a good company, they have the ability to scale quickly itself, or quickly. Okay, so the key behind the startup is the innovation. So startup without innovation, startup is not possible. And previously, people used to have the business, and once the business is established, they used to use the technology to do the marketing, or to do some other supply chain management or something like that. But nowadays, when you are building a startup, technology is also the heart or the core component of a startup business. So along with this technology and innovation, only the startups are possible. So when you say startup, they are going to solve the problem that is not addressed before. Okay, so it is just innovation is just a mindset. Like you right now, by after doing 11th and 12th of education, what happens is that we are continuously working on analysis, data, and mathematics, and facts and rules, and of physics and chemistry, and then we are using our left brain. Sorry, we are using our left brain, and we stop using right brain. Where right brain is for the emotions and being empathetic, and it is not only it is not about analysis and the numbers and facts. It is something different, where the creativity can be improved. If you do the exercises for the right brain, your creativity will be improved, and you become innovative. And so we have to realize that, and we have to make the balance of usage of both the brains, left brain as well as right brain. And when you start working in that direction, and when you look here and there in that in the environment where you are living, you will be able to see the problems which are not solved before, or there is no solution for the problems. So you identify such problems in the environment, in the society, and you are trying to provide the solution which is not available. Or even if the solution is available, you are providing the more efficient solution. So you are creating a new product, or you are improving the existing product, or you are providing a new service, or you are improving the currently available service for a particular problem, and you are providing some more efficient solutions. Okay, so it focuses on growth. It should be able to scale quickly. If you get the funds and if you become successful, you should have the ability to scale, and you can have a global presence of yourself. Okay, so I can say that finally we can say that what is a startup? Startup is a company, more than one person, like minimum two people are needed when you have to register the startup, and it may develop a new product, or it may offer a new service, or it will redevelop some product with some improvements, and it may provide more efficient services to someone in the society. So it is solving some pain point of someone in the society, so it is beneficial to the customer. So it is a company more than one person. That is also a requirement for a startup. Okay. So what are the features of startup? That they are trying to solve the problem. They are trying to make the life easy for someone, and improving the digitalization. It is not the sole aim of startup is not to run a company of 2,000 employees or to earn the money. Is not the main purpose of the startup. It's all about bringing change in the system. It is all about solving the problem of someone. So this, if your aim is to just earn the money, it will not be successful. If the team of people, if they are passionate about some problem and they want to solve the problem, they have the risk taking capability, they are ready to improve their entrepreneurship and marketing skills, then only it is possible. Okay, so it is not only about making money, it is about implementing the idea, and for that idea they are passionate, and they anyhow they want to implement the idea, and they want to come up with something good solution for a particular problem, because they are empathetic, and they are thinking that this is a very big problem, and this should be there has to be some solution, so that it will make the life easy for the people. So if that is the goal, then only the startup will be successful. So we can say that the startup with a good idea is itself a wealth. Okay, so your aim should not be to earn the money, but if you are having a very good idea, then that good idea itself is a wealth, because your idea is the product, and the byproduct will be money. So money will come automatically after that. Okay, and you should be able to scale your startup, and also its presence should be seen across the globe. Okay, so it can be a global company also. So we are going towards the Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Startup India is helping making in India by making in India. Okay, Startup India helping make in India by making in India. Okay, so like this we can say about startups. Okay, now I can show you this. I can show you here. This is the website startupindia.gov.in. I have created my account over here, and once you log in here, when you register yourself in the Startup India website, then you are availed with all the learning resources. Now, there are multiple sections here: resources, network, schemes and policies and programs. Everything, each and every information is provided over here, and you are availed with the training courses, resource materials, their schemes, their competitions will be available to you. And there is a huge network also, where many people are there, from different fields like animation, AI, agriculture, or from all these domains, investor, incubators, mentors, all such. It is a network of people, and depending, if you register with your startup in this particular website, you are visible to so many people here who are in the network. Okay, so that is also an advantage, and that is a requirement to be successful. Okay, so this Startup India, they are providing three pillars. On the basis of these three pillars, you can establish your startup. With the on the top of these three pillars, you can establish the startup, and they are helping you to grow. Okay, so what are the three pillars provided by the government in the Startup India scheme is that the first thing is about simplification and handholding. Simplification means the process initially when a few years back, if you want to start your business, you have to apply and your application will go through multiple ministries or departments and it takes lots of time. So they have simplified the entire process. And they have launched this portal, which just I have shown you, and mobile application to provide the services and information. It is just a matter of filling the form, and within 8 to 15 days, your startup will get registered. Okay, or even they are providing this Startup India hub or the networking or online platform where all the stakeholders. I think you know the meaning of the word stakeholder. Stakeholder means like for a college, who are the stakeholders for the college like of organization? That students, parents, then teachers, then management, then these are the stakeholders for a college organization. And for the startup ecosystem, who are the stakeholders? Investors, mentors, then the customers, then suppliers, then government bodies. All these are the stakeholders. So it is an online platform for all the stakeholders of the startup ecosystem, where everyone is together and they can establish connection with each other. They can interact and avail the facilities for each and every and help each other. And then they have also done the fast tracking of patent examination. Patent means that suppose you are doing some invention, and if it is a technology based startup, in that case you invent some new algorithm, or if you invent a new product, then there is a possibility that someone may use your idea and they may come up with their own startup. So before disclosing your invention to the public, you can file the patent. And initially the filing the patent and getting the grant for the patent was a long process, and now so they made it simplified, and fast tracking of patent is done, is available for the startup. So you can easily file your patent, or you can get the license for the trademark or your logos for your companies. That is done very fast. Okay, once you do the patent, then your idea cannot be stolen by someone else. Or if someone else is going to use your idea or your technology, then they have to take the permission and they have to pay to you. Okay, so even they have formed the insolvency and bankruptcy board. If there is any mess, and if you think that your startup work is not getting done properly, and you want to if you want to exit from that, then the quick exit or faster exit for startup is also allowed. Okay. Otherwise, for the previously, if you want to shut down your business, there were many laws, and you have to follow all the laws, and only it was possible. Okay, so they simplified everything. You just have to fill up the application. You have to do the self certification about certain laws. So your application will not go through multiple departments. You are just self certifying and saying that I am following all these laws, and so that the process is very simplified, and within 8 to 15 days it's possible to register your startup. So this is the first pillar. Second pillar is that if you want to create your own company, you need funds. Without funds it's not possible, and you may not having that much of money. Okay, so the government is providing you the funding support. I really believe if your idea is very good, there are so many people and so many investors, they are ready to invest their money in the startups. Okay, because nowadays investors, they don't want to keep money in the bank. We don't get much interest, or compared to the other investing options, this option is also a very good option for the investors, because if the startup is successful, the money they get good returns. Okay, so the government is providing fund of funds called as FFS for the startups, and as I told you, by 2025 they are going to release 10,000 million dollars. Okay, they are also providing the tax exemption for the startup for first 3 years. So out of the 10 years, like first 10 years for a company is called as a startup. From this first 10 years, you can select any 3 years, and you don't have to pay the tax for that. So you have to apply for that. If you're eligible, then you are exempted from paying the tax. Okay, even for there are some angel investors. Angel investors are the investors who are ready to invest in a startup. So initially there was angel tax. So that tax is also removed now, and the angel investors can happily invest into the, if they are investing in the startup, they are exempted from paying the tax on that investment. So such kind of schemes they have brought. Mm. And then the third pillar is about industry academics partnership. So here in one of the speeches, our Prime Minister said that even though there are millions of problems in India, there are billions of young minds and bright students who can solve these problems. Okay, so there is just a need to look here and there and identify a problem and then come up with the idea to solve the problem. Okay, so we can do wonders in that. So for that, they are establishing incubation centers currently in IITs and many colleges. Like even our Father Agnel Vashi has their own incubation center. SPIT has their own incubation center. IIT Mumbai have their incubation center. And in the incubation center, they park this money, and that money can reach to the startup via incubation center. Even they are establishing this tinkering labs or research parks or innovation centers across higher education institutes, so that the students are getting aware and they are getting educated about all the procedures of startups, and they will be trained on innovative or industry 4.0 solutions like IoT, robotics, 3D printers. So all these things are also initiated. So that's why IIC is also contributing to create the culture of startups and entrepreneurship within the institutes. Okay, so these are the three pillars of startups. Now, I want to tell you about this innovation context, because this is also one route via which you can establish your own startup. Okay, so what is this? This is related to our, this is important to our higher education institute like our engineering colleges. So with the help of IICs, what we do in the entire year, we are organizing multiple programs. Okay, so the programs are like having field visits or idea competitions or design thinking workshop or a demonstration or presentations for the project competitions, then IPR workshop or awareness about intellectual property rights, then prototype competition, and all these things are happening within the institute throughout the year. By the end of the year, the selected teams are nominated by the institute. So we also do that. Since last 2 years, we are doing that. This year also we are going to send some of the teams. So we forward some of the teams ahead, and now they represent the college. So they represent the institute, and the name of the context is NIC, that is National Innovation Competition, and we nominate the team to them, and then they have to show their business model and business plan, and they participate in the exhibition where they show their prototype, and their product, and if they won the prize, then the government is going to take care for them. They are providing all kinds of support to this team of people. They provide the fund, they provide all kind of supports, and through incubation centers, and they nurture the startups, and they allow them to grow. Okay, so here what I'm saying is that we are trying to encourage and motivate the students teams within the college, that they should start working from the second year on a particular idea. It will take 1 year to solve this problem, and their idea will result into the prototype in the span of 6 months to 1 year, depending on how you are passionate and how you are behind that product. And here, believe me that you are going to get each and every kind of experience. All your theoretical knowledge that you are studying, you are going to apply when you are creating a product, and you are learning your academics as well as you are learning to build a product practically, if you are following this path. Okay, and even if you are not getting any prize over here, if it is your idea is very good, we can assist you within the institute. We can assist you and we can attach you with the existing incubation center. Actually, we are trying to have incubation center in our college itself. So if we get the permissions and now when if our application gets selected, then we will be having incubation center in our college. But if it is not there, then we can attach you to the nearby incubation center like our college, Father Agnel Vashi Incubation Center or SPIT or any other incubation center, and where the incubation center is or incubation unit is a unit where mentors are there. They are having connections with funding people and all different legal experts, and they will allow you to grow, and they provide all kind of support to the team of people. So this way, like so many facilities are created now in last few years. And for this particular competition, these are the themes, or these are the areas from where they invite the ideas like healthcare, agriculture, smart devices, IoT based devices, AI, robotics, waste management, and even others is also one of the criteria. If you have any other idea, that is also welcome to you. Okay, so this is about how academic institutes are now getting involved, and they want to channelize the students' energy and enthusiasm towards their having their own business or having their own company. Okay, finally, what happens is that even if you are not thinking about startups in the beginning, what happens is that you will join a particular organization and you will start working as an employee, and then you are in the corporate, and maybe sometimes it happens that you are in the competition, and there is a ladder, and you are always in the race, and after few years lots of students, they feel that okay, I don't want to work now, I want to start my something my own business. Okay, so this happens after few years of working. So if you give your initial age or initial years only for your business, then why to start late? You can start early, um, having your own business. Okay, and it's not difficult, like you need to have a idea, but your idea should be innovative. Okay, so in this particular stage, whatever you are working within the institute or higher education institute is called as pre-incubation stage of your startup, where you formulate the idea, you assess that your idea is whether it is acceptable or not, whether there are customers. You start from thinking from customers' point of view, that whether they are liking your idea, what is the market, is it a valid idea. Then you are educated about the intellectual property rights. You have to file your invention. Okay, and then you are also given training about creating the business plan and model, and how to present your idea. Like when you have to present your idea, it is in the form of a pitch, and that investors give you only the time of 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, you have to inform about your product to the investors, and then only they are because their time is valuable. They don't want to spend much time on your idea, and on listening on your idea. So they give whenever you go to any investor, they give you only 2 minutes of time. In 2 minutes of time, you have to prepare your pitch, and you have to tell your idea in 2 minutes. And if they like, then only they will invest. So this way, all such kind of trainings will be provided in the pre-incubation stage that is going to happen in the college. Okay. So here, when you start from your idea till your product, which is market fit, these are the three different versions or three steps through which you will have to go through. The first one is the proof of concept. It is not exact product, but it is just you are trying that whether your algorithm or whether your invention, you are trying to test that whether it can be implemented or not, whether your idea is feasible or not. So you just try and check that whether your idea is implementable or not in the proof of concept. So it is not a ready product. So first, from idea, you just generate a POC. Okay, from POC, you may convert it into a prototype, where the prototype, when you create the prototype, it is actual product, and after UI or UX, you will see that after building this way, the product will look like. And when you are building the product, you may find out many hurdles or problems, and you come to know about the errors. And so the prototype building is just to check that what kind of problems you're going to face when you are really going to start the production for final product. So this is for finding the errors and hurdles or mistakes. And then you may create also a minimum viable product, which is the actually final type of product, but it may not have the finishing features. And the final product you may have final product which is to market fit, you may add, or you do the polishing and you may add some superficial features also. But here it is a product without any bugs or without any problem, and that you can give it to the customer, and you have to take the feedback from the prospective customers. So you cannot bring your product directly into the market. You first create a minimum viable product and give it to around 20-50 your prospective customers. Take them seriously, take their feedback, again study on that, and again revise your design and implement all the suggestions. So this way you will have to work on building the product. So there are three steps here: pre-incubation stage, incubation stage of the startup, and then the accelerator stage. In the pre-incubation stage, this is going to happen within the, if it is academics related startup for the students, that is going to happen within the college during the 1 year of your idea to POC. Okay. And then you may get the grant for that, or you may get prizes or some funds. By using that, you can convert it into a minimum viable product, or you will get attached to incubation center after that. And in incubation center, you get the support on this multiple factors like infrastructure, networking, visibility, funding, mentoring, or legal support. Like you can use the office space, or you may get the instruments, lab instruments. You'll be able to use the lab instruments of incubation center, or internet facility, or you will be introduced with mentors, manufacturers, other industry people, because you may require some particular raw material or a particular part, and then you will have to get connected to the manufacturers who will give you that particular part for your product. So you need to establish the networking and contacts. So that will happen through the incubation center. Then when you create your product should be showcased via various events or exhibitions. And incubation center helps to make your product visible to the outside world. Even they will assist you to get the fund, like grants or seed funds or angel investors, or from VCs or banks. So that help is also provided. Mentors are there; they will continuously do the mentoring for you. They will provide the trainings. You can incubation center organizes workshops, trainings, even personal mentoring is possible, and you will be trained, because initially you are the innovators, and now you have to acquire the skills of an entrepreneur also. So that trainings are also required, and then legal support is of course needed, which who will help you in filing the patent and managing your finance. So such kind of support is provided for 3 years. Okay, so depending on the agreement, you may give some rent, or something in return to the incubation center, which is a nominal, and for the startup, and startup can manage that. And then the next stage is, once the startup is successful, after 3 years, they are able to scale they'll be able to scale themselves, and that support is also provided through industry collaborations. Okay, so now this is the redundant information which I told you, but I like this diagram, so I've kept these diagrams in my presentation. Whenever you register your startup with the Startup India website, or through with the legal expert, if you have registered your startup company, and then via incubation centers, or via the Startup India scheme, or state startup websites, you will be connected with many people, like funding organizations, research organizations, mentors, advisors, and you get the support of recruiting, HR support, R&D support, or IP support, or funding support. So because you will be a part of the ecosystem, and you will establish the connections, and there are many people who are ready to help you. This is the example of IIT Mumbai Sign Incubation Center diagram. Like, they provide industry collaborations. They can they will connect you with their research group people. They will help you in your licensing or IP filing. So like this, and there are many clubs in the. So this is with respect to academics. So there are many clubs, e-cells, startup cells. Like in our college also many cells are there. Even Code Labs now contributing for such events. So they are organizing trainings and workshops which will help the team. So when you prepare the product as a technology person or technocrat, you will be very happy and you feel that okay, now my product is ready and this is your plan that you can reach your goal now without any hurdles. But actual reality is not like that. In reality, you are going to face many problems and many challenges, and the challenges are internal as well as externals. Challenges are with respect to funds or team building. Whenever you are building a team, it is very important that in a team you need to have multidisciplinary kind of team, and you need to have different type of expertise within the team. One person is a technology expert, one person is expert in doing marketing, and he's very good in showcasing yourself. So like this you need to have different type of people with different type of skills in a team. So team building is a very important factor over here, and you are going to face the challenges but to reach to your goal. So why these challenges will become very easy when you follow all the ethics and legal aspects. So whenever you are working in this direction to reach your goal, there are many situations where there is a dilemma and you have to take some decisions. So your decisions will be based on your ethical and core values. So what is suggested is that your team uh, whenever you are going to register your startup, you need to define your vision mission clearly, and if all the members of the team they agree on this particular vision and the way you're going to solve the problems, then there is no problem in survival. Okay, for example, in a team of people, one person is very sincere who says that whenever we are spending money, immediately we have to do the accounting and we have to put like 1,000 rupees are spent, so we have to do the accounting and we have to write it into the diary or your account books. But the other person will say that what is a big deal, only 10,000 1,000 rupees are there, I remember, I know that, so that I'll write it afterwards. So such kind of conflicts will start happening once because till you are building your product, you are passionate about building the product. Once the product is ready and if you get the funds, then only the challenges will come. And that time, if your vision and your thinking is not aligned with among yourself as a founder of your team members, then there will be an issue. Okay, so even investors, if you are not following any rules, regulations, and if investors come to know that you are not following all the compliances, then they may also withdraw their money from your organization. It may also happen. So it is very important to follow all the legal and you have to decide about your core values, ethics, and your mission, the way you are going to work. Everything should be discussed, and you have to come to the conclusion as a team. And as a startup team, if you have all these qualities like loyalty, honesty, integrity, keeping your promises, paying on time, or if you're following all such things, and if you are responsible towards all these entities like legal, corporate, or official, economic responsibility, if you're fulfilling all these responsibilities, then your journey will become easy. Okay. Now, I would like to give you one example of a startup. There was a group of people. There was a student from IIT Kharagpur. He passed out student at 2016. He is a founder of this Super Tatkal app. He was facing a problem. He was facing a challenge that he wanted to travel and he used to try to book the ticket using Tatkal, and he was facing problems in that. So he thought that I want to solve this problem. So he came up with this Super Tatkal app. But then this he was booked for this application afterwards, because IRCTC or railway systems, they said that whatever software he has done is illegal software, and he was arrested by the authority. Okay, what was his product? What was his application? This application, he was a technocrat. So what happens in the Tatkal system is that you whenever the Tatkal timing is getting opened, and when you start filling the form, it takes around 5 to 10 minutes. Even if you are quick, you may do the mistakes, and it takes 5 to 10 minutes to fill all the data and do the payment. And by the time you reach to the payment, the booking is done. So what he did that he created a exactly similar application. He gathered all the data in advance, and then he built the system in such a way that within the fraction of seconds, everything was submitted to IRCTC. He used to pay the amount ticket value used to get transferred in IRCTC. Okay, so but what he was doing is that he was having a prepaid card kind of system where customers used to prepay him, and from that card he used to deduct the money and transfer the money to IRCTC, and he used to get 20 or 30 rupees per transaction. But if you see this characteristics of this startup or this application, what are the characteristics? It is solving a problem. Okay, there is a real pain point. There is a real problem for the people to do the Tatkal booking. He was solving the problem. So there was a market for him. There were customers, and customers were ready to pay. He was having 1 lakh users, so he was actually getting 20 lakhs rupees, and he was generating the revenue. So it is a very good system. But when he was arrested by police, then on the social media people have different thoughts, like what is wrong, he is a student, he has solved the problem. And but government was clear that it is a law, and the law he has not followed the law. It's not helpful. Okay, so this software, it was revenue, it was generating the revenue, which is the important thing. Genuine users, but what railway said that the rights of genuine users are denied. He is not authorized agent, and he is earning the money. He is bypassing the original system, railway system, so which is illegal, and so that's why this is not this is wrong. Okay, so what is right about this? Now here there is a dilemma: what is right and what is wrong, and you have to follow the ethics, and you have to take the decisions in your life when you are building a startup. So what is right here? That he has identified the pain point. User accepted he's solving the problem, which is all needed for a startup. But what is wrong that he has there was ignorance of law. He has not hired any legal expert for the advice. But for a startup, it is difficult to pay the legal expert. So, so now the government is having many schemes via incubation centers, or many schemes. The legal expert advice is possible for the startups. There was no proper approval. There is ignorance of law, and in the constitution, it is not allowed to ignore the law. Okay, so this was the problem. So that's why following the ethics, whatever we are doing, whether it is right or wrong, is very important, and you have to follow all the legal aspects. Okay, so everyone, we see that in a life, depending on the environment where we grow, we have some moral compass. And always there is a dilemma that whenever we have to take a decision, whether I don't know whether it is right or wrong, or it depends on the situation whether I should say yes or no, or we may have the thoughts like, as soon as I don't get caught, I can do this. Or if someone say that it's an individual choice, what is a big deal in doing such something like this? So like this, all these things are there in individual minds, depending on the environment in which he has grown, or depending on his exposure. So, so you have to be, you have to have clarity of thinking, and follow the core values and ethics. And if you are clear about that, then only you can take a proper decisions. Because whatever the decisions today you are going to take, tomorrow it is going to blink at you in the future, because you are in business and there are so many competitors are also there, and you should be able to justify your decisions at any stage. Okay, so these are the different things. Like initially, when the team of people are working as a startup, they are together and they are concentrating on building the product, and their vision alignment is there. But if you don't care about it, and when you scale up, and when you establish and when you get the funds, and you have created multiple branches and all that time, this all these tasks starts getting separated. And in your team you have you need to be careful. You need to decide the strategy, how execution is going to happen for each and every process. All the processes should be defined in the organization. Like if you want to avail some concession, travel concessions or travel allowance, then what will be the process, how to apply, what are the documents to be submitted, and what will be the deadline. All such things are to be decided properly, then it will go smooth. Okay. And once you are stable in that, then you will achieve the professionalism within the institute, and all your tasks and processes are well defined and will happen properly within the startup. And then here in the last stage, all the internal challenges are handled carefully. And now you have to handle the external challenges like your competitors, the competition outside the world, and how to improve your product, or to how to survive in the market. Okay, such kind of things are to be done. So it will happen with the help of proper thinking and decisions done in the beginning only. Okay, this is actually a formal definition of startup, that it can be a private limited company up to 10 years of survival, not more than 100 crores. And you have to get approval from DIPP, that is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. You have to apply and they give you a certificate that you are a startup. Then you can name yourself as a startup, and you are solving some problem. Okay, then only it is a startup. So innovation and improvement is there. But if it is a splitting of existing business or reconstruction of existing business, is not called as a startup. Okay, so these are different types of companies under which you can register yourself. But out of this, only three are eligible for startup. That is private limited company or partnership firm or a limited liability partnership. So you can so these are the entities that is called as a vehicle through which you can do the business. And when you are registering, you have to register as with a particular entity. So it can be partnership firm, but if you are not interested in the investors money, if you have your own money, then only you can go for partnership, because here minimum 2 people are needed. It is unlimited liability. Unlimited liability means if you are having losses, then you have to pay for from your private money. You have to its valuation is not possible, shares are not possible, so it is not suggestible. But if you don't want investors money and you are confident, then you can go for this. LLP is a limited liability partnership, where also minimum 2 people are needed, but limited liability is there. So in case of losses, they will not take your personal property. Okay, so but valuation is not possible. Investors will not invest because shares and cannot be issued. So it is not suggestible. But whatever is suggestible is a public limited company. You have to register as a public private limited company, and it is a limited liability, means in case of losses they will not take away your private property. Its valuation is possible, shares can be issued, and it is a preferred option for a startup. But any one of these three can be used as an entity to register yourself with the startup as a startup. And these are the steps for registration. Like you apply to the Ministry of Corporate Affairs with the details, and with at least 2 partners, by deciding about private firm or LLP or private limited company. And then you apply to DPIIT, that is Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, via these websites. Fill their simple form and you get a certificate of that you are a startup. Then you have to follow all these compliances or these rules. Like if you are having more than 10 employees, then your contribution and the employee salary contribution will go for ESI account, which is the insurance for the employee, or PF for the employee if more than 20 employees. And you have to pay the GST if the turnover is more than 20 lakhs, and professional tax also. If you can apply for tax exemption, and if you are selected, then you are exempted from the tax. So such things are there for startup registration. Once you have registered as a successful startup, you have to prepare a proper business plan where you are telling about employees, profitability, revenue, valuation of company, like this. You have to prepare a pitch deck, like where in 2 minutes of time you have to explain about your business, what is the problem, how it is solved, where it is applied, or who is the customer targeted, which sector it belongs to, and you have to propose, you have to speak to the investor, and then the investor will provide you the funds. Okay, so the funding can be your own funding, or friend or relative can fund you, or seed series funds, or angel investors, or SEBI, or venture capitalists can invest in your company in the form of equity shares or preference shares, or in the form of loan like debenture or convertible note or a loan from a director. So this the last three are in the form of a loan which you have to repay with interest, and here it is in the form of shares. So if your valuation of the company is 10 crore, and if someone is investing 10 lakh of rupees, then he is eligible for 1% equity. So he becomes the owner um, of the company. Okay, because you cannot pay much in the beginning. And these are the different types of sources for the funds. Initially, it is a fund created by government, fund of funds via incubation centers or via grants. You are made available with that funds. Then venture capitalists or alternate investor fund, incubation centers, state startup center, startup India scheme, then credit guarantee fund where you get the fund from bank, take the loan from bank, and the government is guarantor for you, or from NABARD or SEBI for women or SC/ST people. They are coming up with the startup. There are so many schemes for women entrepreneurs and angel investors. So these are the different sources for the funding. And really believe me that I are now getting exposed or exposure to these incubation centers, and I'm interacting with the people. And there are so many investors who are ready, but they are waiting for a good idea. They're not finding good idea or good startup to invest. Okay, and then these are the incentives which I've talked before. Because the time is limited, I'll go fast through this. Like the process is very simplified, where you do the self-certification under labor laws or environmental laws. Your application will be processed very fast. Then there is no inspection under labor law. Fast tracking of patent facilitators are there. Facilitators or mentors, if cost is paid by government. Rebate is there on filing the patent, like for 10,000 rupees you get the concession, and you just have to pay only 4,000 rupees for getting the trademark or patent values. Then exemption from income tax, easy binding in 90 days, quick exit in 90 days. If you are not if you want to get out of the mess, then quick exit is also possible. And you can now participate in the tenders without your experience, and you have the marketplace also where you can do the sell. Okay, so like this there are many incentives to startups. And these are the multiple different compliances that a startup should follow. Like they have to follow the deadlines. If they don't follow the deadlines, there are heavy charges or penalties are there. They have to conduct the board meetings. Transparency should be there. Then they should pay properly the income tax, and monthly GST filing is to be done on time. Audit is to be conducted, or self-certification for the labor laws, and for labor ESI or PF amount should be deducted properly every month. And even they can approach the employees. If there is an employee, if they want to retain the talented employee, then and they are not able to pay him high salary, then they can give him the option of sharing shares option, ESOP, so that you give him, instead of salary, you give him the shares of the company. Because anyway it is going to the valuation is going to increase, and in future it is a huge amount of money that the person may get. Okay, so all such compliances are to be done properly. So, and at the end I can say that there are these four pillars or fundamental pillars are there, like accountability, transparency, responsibility, and fairness. So if you are doing your governance, or if you are doing your business on the by following all this ethics and this fundamental pillars on the top of which, if you are fulfilling all your responsibilities and duties properly uh, towards the government, society, customer, vendors, board members, investors, then there is no harm and there's no way that anyone can stop you from becoming successful. Okay, so that's why this following all the legal, having the knowledge of all these legal things and following your ethics and core values and having clarity of thinking is very, very important for being successful. Okay, so the last thing is about some successful stories. Like you can see here, these are the teen inventors, and they've invented such a good things. Like, so you are in college, and nobody can stop you if you decide and make up your mind to do something great. Like here, the invention is turning plastic trash into biofuel, or here detecting Alzheimer or cancer in early stage, or here the portable dialysis machine, or invented she has invented the flashlight from the heat, hand heat. Then here the charger who can charge your phone battery in 20 to 30 seconds is the invention. Or he has invented the braille printer, helpful for the blind people. So such so you can also do that. Okay, you realize after some time, when we are a small kid, that time we feel that we can do anything in the whatever is there in the world, we can do that. But that curiosity and creativity is getting less and less as you grow. But even after growing and getting the work experience, you start feeling that, oh, I can also do that, I should have done all such things when I was in college. Okay, so get inspired and try to think and participate in the competitions, and get at least experience of building your own product in your college journey. These are some successful Indian startups, where we can say that Zomato has now the presence in 24 countries, even more than 10,000 cities. Okay, so 24 countries, Zomato becomes so successful. Okay, Big Basket also is now acquired by Tata. Flipkart is the first in 2080s. Dunzo is also becoming very famous. So all these are the successful startups in India. So so I'll with this note I will stop my session today. I hope you have enjoyed the session. So so now any questions? So any questions regarding.
Ma'am, there are many issues related to intellectual properties, and they are very complex and nuanced. So, people working and in startups usually pass information without knowing about all these stuff. How to tackle these problems?
Mm, can you repeat what you said in the beginning? I couldn't understand.
The thing is that there are very there are issues related to intellectual properties, and the laws are very complex. So the people working in these startups don't know about these laws and pass information without knowing them. So how to tackle the same?
Yeah, there is actually there you have to hire when you get tied up with incubation center, then there is a legal expert, and that legal expert may guide you to go through this filing of patents, or if you are using any technology which is already patented, then he will warn you. Okay, so that kind of advice you can get from a legal expert. So legal expert is necessary in the ecosystem. Okay, plus there are some nowadays there are various sites also. From the sites, if you explore that, then you will be able to see what are the previous patents which are filed. And if you are using any particular technology, you can search that whether that thing is already patented. And I think if the patent is there for first 20 years, you cannot use it. But after that, it becomes open and anyone can use it. So there are some repositories, and you can they are accessible from the websites, and you can see that whether the technology that you are using is already patented by someone else. Okay, and plus the legal expert advisor is needed when you are registering your startup and when you are creating your product. You have to at least consult them before going ahead to avoid such type of issues. Okay. And Miss, I am not that expert in the IP field, but we in the year, if it is academic institution and you are in the stage of pre-incubation, we are organizing multiple programs, like at least 2, 3 sessions in a year about IP, and we are asking, hiring asking or inviting many experts to give the sessions, and they are ready to help us in case of such kind of issues. So you have to be careful when you are using technology invented by someone else. That is right. Okay. So I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So anyone else? So at the end, I can say that please you try in your journey of your college in this 4 years, at least you start working, you form a team. It is very good if the team members are from different departments, one from production, mechanical, electronics and computer, like this, and you form a team and you start working on a particular idea, and always every year we organize the idea competition, participate in the competition. At least you should get the experience of developing a product, and that is not going to, because startup founder, there is no difference in a vice president of a company, existing company, and a startup founder. Both will have to acquire the skills for the success of their organization, and the skills are same. So it is necessary that in these 4 years of journey you should get the experience of creating your own product, or creating or coming or implementing some good idea, because there are so many mini projects you are doing in your 4 years in multiple subjects. And in the college also, as a NISP policy, we are going to give you the concessions if you are working on this idea related to the mini projects or your submissions or attendance. All such concessions will be given to the team who is really working very hard for their idea. Okay. So you can contact anytime to IIC members and as well as me. Okay, so anyone else, if you want to say something about this?
No more questions, ma'am. So I will end this. On behalf of CodeLab CRC, we would like to thank Professor Swati Ringe for taking her time out to give us such a great session. We certainly have got a good idea on startups and the legal requirements required to achieve our goal. Thanks to everyone who joined us in our session. Hope you had a great learning experience.
Thank you, all of you, for listening properly. Thank you.